People deflect all the time. It doesn't mean it answered the question. The question was, Mel.
You don't even know what the question was.
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 I'm literally about to say the question.
No, you don't even know what it was.
Y'all are trying to stop me.
You don't even know what it was.
You do realize they're watching in real time. They can see all this nonsense.
Yeah. And I guarantee they're gonna know what the we want.
All right.
And you gotta be. What do you mean?
I would have never even gotten in a relationship with her. What are you talking about?
Answer?
Just a man on a mission, ambition to never fail. Personality electric, he is animated male, intelligent and wise, calm and often cool. Chris James giving opinions while also speaking the truth. Empathy and compassion. Stephen Michael is here, helping you through your traumas, helping you with your fears. These three forces combine and keep it honest. Turn up the volume, cause this is the application of knowledge.
Welcome to the Application of Knowledge podcast. I am Animated Mel, Chris James, Stephen Michael, and we are on episode 125. Everybody is alive.
I knew you were going to say that.
Everyone's alive and we gonna thrive and we ain't no jive. Mm-hmm. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Anything that rhymes with 5.
You feel me? That's how you supposed to do it. That's how you supposed to be a rhymer, man.
Hey, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Did you listen to Eminem's album?
Yes.
The whole thing?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a favorite song yet?
I like the Big Sean one. The
Toby?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, nigga, he dissed my girl, man, twice.
Who?
Candace.
Oh, Candace. Yeah.
So I'm just like, hey, man.
That wasn't that hard.
He disrespected her.
He just used her in. Yeah, he did use her. He did use her name twice. But I didn't feel like he came at her that hard. It's Eminem.
I mean,
anyone can get it.
Did you like Eminem's album?
I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was a great album. He brought back a lot of the energy when it comes to going at everybody.
Yeah.
You know, Megan, what's her name? Megan Thee Stallion, and
yeah.
A lot of more prominent.
Christopher Reeves got it multiple times, and he's dead.
He's played Christopher Reeves many times.
I actually thought about like trying to search the internet to see if I can find an answer as to why
he's going so hard on him.
Like why do they have beef? What did he do to him?
It would have to be some. I don't know.
It's probably something small.
Yeah, it's probably something smaller. Maybe it's a stance that he probably took about his music or something, and then he just lashed out.
No, Christopher Reeves would have been dead by then, wouldn't he?
Nah, I don't think he was. He would have been paralyzed by then, obviously.
Yeah,
but back
he's
then,
been in a chair and stuff. But
he died early.
Shady's been he recently.
Not recently, but he's died. Not within. I mean, we were adults when he died. I believe.
I would say I don't know the year, but it was when I say recent. It wasn't when we were children. This was when we were adults.
So this is within 20 years.
I would say probably 10. I honestly don't know. It was more recent though.
2020. Oh, hold on, that's Dana. Let me see. Cause of death. 2004 he died.
Oh wow.
See, that's before Eminem really.
That's when I was in 11th grade.
I was in I graduated. I was 12th grade. No, I was 2004.
Yeah, because I graduated in 05.
Okay, so
I guess he could have said something about his music, but why? You're about to die.
I'm sure they didn't know.
It's just weird. Like,
well, Ems was around before that. That was my senior year. So he's been coming at him for a while.
But what was your favorite song on the album? Since you mentioned
Guilty Conscious 2. It's towards the end.
Is that okay? Because I know he had one on there with his daughter, which was like super emotional. I'm just like, yeah, it's a good song, but I'm not going back to it.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to the album multiple times, but yeah, and that one, I just like how he's going back and forth. I love the back and forth between him and Slim Shady.
Yeah.
And at the end of the song, they're like fighting and they're wrestling together, and he's like, oh, rear naked chokehold, and then it's just funny. But there was a song in there. I think it's Fuel, and there was a lyric, and he was just like, he didn't just spell rapper.
He spelled it Reaper
without a D, did he? Right, and then he basically goes on to talk about Diddy, and he was like, Biggie and Tupac, you should be here, alive, right? But he basically, and he said stuff about Diddy before. I forget what song it was, And he basically was just like, I'm just kidding, Diddy. You know I love you at the end of the song. But basically he said, no, Diddy's the reason that they're gone.
Yeah.
And this is the second time he said it. I just loved.
M said it in his interviews too. I think he's mentioned.
Has he?
I think he's mentioned something about that in his interviews before.
Well, he said it in 2 different songs.
So
not
people
this
are going to
album.
bring it up in the interviews. You know what I'm saying?
I just, in totality, I enjoyed it, and the first time I went through the album, I was just like, okay, so it's not like I didn't skip through any of the songs, but then there's songs that didn't catch me immediately, and then as I just went through it a couple more times, I'm just like, all right. The ones that just because you're just listening and I'm not really like listening, I'm just kind of listening in the background.
Yeah.
And then as I start listening just in the car or whatever, I'm just like, yeah, I like these. I'm just so happy that I got an Eminem album and I'll be out walking and I can literally listen to the whole thing from beginning to end. And the only time where I'll skip something is one of the early releases. Like I'll skip Houdini sometimes, or I'll skip Toby sometimes, but just because I've heard them already a lot, because I just playing the hell out of them.
I like the album. I mean, granted, I've only listened to it one time, and that was the night of the release. And then after that, I didn't necessarily go back to it. I just sat with what I listened to initially, and what I did. I mean, I was like, man, his bars. It's like every other line is like a metaphor.
Yeah.
And everything is a metaphor that makes you think. And like, I love his comedic approach to a lot of the songs. And I love it feels a little bit more free versus trying to be all this rapper who's, I have a positive life now and all that stuff.
Instead of trying to be Marshall Mathers, he was like, no, this is me.
Yeah.
And it felt genuine.
Yeah.
But with a twist.
I appreciate that. I mean, I don't rock with him politically.
He definitely leans left.
Like the message that he speaks about.
He definitely leans left.
The interesting thing is that I didn't realize that until this album, because I would imagine that he would not lean left.
You don't listen to his interviews.
No.
Okay.
This dude doesn't like Trump for nothing. Like he always talks negative.
I'm surprised he did it. He didn't. I don't think I heard anything about Trump except when he talked about Candace and he said MAGA, but I don't think he just said Trump at all.
I mean,
he probably don't want to give him no.
He probably have already. I mean, a lot of songs, a lot of interviews, like he was said, like even thinking about Trump makes him like it's repulsive to him.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so
he might be like Isaiah, digesting mainstream media.
Because I feel like he's anti-government. Like
you would think that, but he has an agenda. He has an agenda, and it's clear in his music, and it's clear with the people who who don't like or who speak against Eminem. Like
see, that's so crazy because I just not hearing. I haven't. This creates discord in me because the way that he talks about the LGBT community.
Yeah.
You just would think that that's not the way that he leans.
What I'm assuming is that he's probably not, maybe, because I thought the same thing, that he should kind of lean right, but it wouldn't align with the majority of the black community, because most people in the black community, they lean left.
That makes sense.
And so if maybe he was raised in this way, maybe his points of views have changed, but he's so into it that if he was to switch code, they would call him racist, because most people who align with the right, they confuse him as being racist. So
it could definitely be deeper because it doesn't make sense logically if he looks at anything seriously. Like if he's not just listening to the mainstream media, it doesn't make sense. But Mel makes a good point. Until the culture shifts, he can't really shift. He'd be in trouble musically.
Interesting.
Now, the thing that's interesting about Eminem is most of his sales are going to come from white children.
Yeah.
So it's not going to necessarily
I would say
hurt.
white adults.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
not-
white. Well,
because most kids, they listen to that.
when we grew up, it was white children.
Yeah.
But that's where most of his money comes from. So he's safe monetarily. But I think Eminem cares a lot about our culture and what we think.
Of course,
You know what I'm saying?
Eminem legit has been accepted because he grew up in it. He's legit. So it's not like I don't know, one of these other dudes that just are appropriating the culture. Even Drake, right? Like, no, Eminem grew. Eminem grew up in.
Yeah, he grew up hip hop.
The
He
hood.
grew up in the hood. He grew up around.
Is
So-
Drake not black?
Huh?
Is Drake not black?
I mean, he is.
No, I
but
said
he also isn't.
I said appropriating the culture
How
because
do
his
you appropriate your own culture? Okay, I'm just talking. I'm just messing. Go ahead.
yeah. So I don't know. The only thing political that I heard that would even have me think that he is left is when he brought up Candace. But at the same time, I said this isn't political. He just said it because he was just shooting digs at Candace because he said that she turned her back on her own people and went MAGA. Other than that, he talks more about the left-leaning people than anything.
Cancel culture.
What do you mean? Are you talking about just this one album?
No, in general, he always talks about them.
Trans people, gay people,
Trans, gay, midgets, any people with.
It's not left leaning. I think he just makes fun of culture in general. It's not. I don't know, man. He's left leaning.
All of those are left-leaning.
There's midgets. How do you do that? How do you just put them in there?
Yeah.
I just lumped them in together. Okay,
Yeah, they
maybe.
don't part.
I think he just makes fun of culture in general.
Yeah, I would see that.
Listen, Steven, he's left leaning, bro. I've seen his interviews.
I'm
heard him
not.
talk.
I'm
telling
not
you.
arguing against that.
Maybe he's a closet Republican or whatever, conservative, whatever, but he's not outwardly.
I have no fight.
fine.
All I'm saying is that that's not what I would have expected, and I didn't know that.
I didn't expect it either, but
It doesn't change my opinion of him.
I mean, his music is his music.
Yeah, I think his music is good. I mean, since Steven spoke about music, I want to speak about my music
ahead.
endeavors.
Wait,
Album?
your music,
Not my music. I mean, granted, I mean, I'm back, but nah. I wouldn't-
animated Mel music.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna start putting out freestyles every, cause you know if no. I have a thought process which I'm not going to expound on, but I'll put it out there. It's just simply, I'm going to do everything that I want to do.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Do what thou wilt. Okay.
So, and ever since that thought came, it's like I've been on a roll. So you said I'm in a good mood. It's because nigga, the creative energy is flowing. But a few weeks ago, I went to a Jhené Aiko concert, and Jhené Aiko is one of my favorite artists. And prior to the pandemic, I was supposed to go to her concert, but it was canceled. And I didn't realize that this tour was basically like a revamping of that or whatever. But man, nigga, well,
She
not
inspired you.
not you, but no. What I'm gonna say
Okay.
is, bruh, I think every man should go to a Jhené Aiko concert.
Oh, she do it?
I mean,
Wait, why not me?
because you're in a relationship, and what I'm saying is the women, oh my god. I was like, I felt like Master Roshi in that piece. I was in that piece like, oh my god. There was so many women there, and a lot of them were pretty, beautiful. I'm just like, my goodness.
You didn't have to.
They were by the droves of just women, black, beautiful women, just there, tall, different sizes, short, small. So there were some big women. I was just like, you know what?
Oh my god.
I might make an excuse. You know what I
Wow.
mean? But it was just like they came out. It was sold out, and just seeing all the women there, I'm just like,
Can I
my
get you a mini burrito?
shit. You know what I mean? Give me a what they call them, Tostitos. You know what I mean? Yeah. Give me a Tostitos or chalupa.
The little roll.
Yeah,
Oh.
give me a little chalupa or something. You know what I mean?
That's-
But yeah, going to her concert, it's just like, man, I kind of felt out of place. I was just like, man,
It was that many women.
It was so many women. I was just like, man, I feel out of place right now. I was just like, but I rock with Jhené. So
I
it's all
mean,
good.
who would listen to Jhené versus, if not women? It's
Right.
really the type of women you're talking about. Is the beautiful women.
Yeah,
listening.
like there was a lot of. Granted, there were dudes there, but I was the only dude there just solo rocking out. To
Everybody else was with their girlfriend.
I don't know. I mean, but also I did see this. I was like, man, why they got this little gay dude? This is like, out of all the people that they got me close to or that I can see, like, why is this gay dude right here? I don't want this gay dude right here looking at me all weird.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Well, he trying to figure out what you doing there.
Right? But no, he looked gay. like you can look at this nigga and be like, yo, he gay. Yeah, I mean,
He was looking at you. He thought you was. He
I don't know.
must have
He wasn't looking at me.
Oh,
But
That's what you said.
I could see him in my peripheral doing that gay shit. I'm just like, man, come on, man. Why you got me on this gay shit right now, man? I'm trying to enjoy Janae. You on this little freaky gay shit. You know what I mean?
Oh,
but
my God.
I had floor seats. You know, I only get floor seats or if I go to a concert that's decent, I would, I invest. But I mainly brought it up just to mention that seeing the women come out like that, man, it was amazing, and it made my single heart. You should be like, man, I need to go to more Janae Aiko.
You could have just shot your shot there that night.
Actually, I was sitting next to a girl, but real talk, I got kind of nervous. I'm just like, man, I felt kind of nervous. I'm just like, man, I'm not sure if this is the right opportunity or place. But Grant, I talked to the chick. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want.
What's the right opportunity or place for a random girl that you're probably never gonna see again?
It's not. I don't know. It's not about opportunity. It's just.
I don't think that there is an answer to that.
There is no answer.
There's never.
Girls will tell you, don't talk to me while I'm at the gym. Why don't niggas talk to me when I'm at the grocery store? The next girl will say, dudes, don't talk to me when I'm at the grocery store. I'm busy. I'm out at the club with my girls. Don't talk to me there. It's just like,
Talk
nigga,
to 'em when
can
you
we
see 'em.
talk to you when we at the park? Like, you don't go to the park though. Like, where can I talk to you?
Yeah, no, I think you make a good point. I think we should talk to them.
Talk to them wherever you want.
If you see the woman that you like, regardless of where it is, talk to them. Granted, I would say that more places could be a little bit more intimidating to talk to them, or at least cause some kind of uncomfortability, just because of the notion of talking to a woman at a gym, or when she's doing things where she seems busy or occupied or focused on something. It may be off-putting, but hey man, you never know until you try. But for me, just in that setting, I was just like, she's enjoying the show, I'm enjoying the show. And I wasn't necessarily trying to talk to someone, but I just wanted to get rid of that initial fear. So I engaged. I
Good for you,
engaged.
man.
And I was, I talked to her. But
I think that's good, man. Especially at a concert, because you're essentially stuck by her for the rest of the concert. And if you try to say something and she's not interested, now that could be awkward.
yeah.
So
I think it's pretty easy to fill it out though before you shoot your shot.
well, that's where I was going. So in those type of situations, you just do something to try to spark a conversation and just see what you get back. Like, oh my God, I love her, da da da, or whatever. Something will come up, and then see how the interaction is, and then okay, it's a 3-hour concert. We're an hour in. I got 2 more hours. Maybe somebody starts dancing, and you just But that, I don't know. And it sounds like that's kind of what you did.
But he ain't closed though.
I would have, but I kind of left early because I didn't
You
want
wanted to beat the rush.
I want to beat the rush, and plus, I have to walk. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me get the fuck out of here early.
Was that last night?
Nah, this was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Last night was Deadpool.
Oh yeah, right.
I saw when you went to that concert.
Oh yeah, I posted it. Yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed my show. I enjoyed myself at the show, and I thought, Janae, she did her thing. I love her. She killed it. I would go see her again. Man. But have y'all watched any of the new episodes when it comes to the Pop the Balloon show?
I've seen newer episodes.
The rekindling when they do those, man.
Yeah, I've seen them.
There's a person who proposed.
Bruh.
They proposed to the
At the
It was like a review. You know how they get picked first.
I think it's called Catching Up.
Or I guess when they catch up.
Okay.
After the dates and all that
So
stuff.
he proposed at that show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh man, this is beautiful. I loved it.
Did she say yes?
She
said
said yes. He wouldn't have did it if they. You got to know. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just. I really like you, marry me. Like they actually been spending a lot of time together since the show.
Yeah.
Like every day.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to lead into like how, because he proposed to her, she said yes, everyone was crying in the interview. It was like, when a man knows, he knows, because it's only been maybe a month or two, couple months, but they've been spending and investing a decent amount of time into one another. And both of them, even just talking, you can tell that they really liked each other. They enjoy one another's company. They click spiritually. They've done the healing. They've done all the work prior to the relationship. So any issues or problems or any type of insecurities that they had, they've been working on. And now they are where they are. And so what do you think is too soon for someone to decide if they want to marry someone or propose to someone?
I recently found out that Candace got engaged after 18 days.
Yeah.
So 18 days after meeting her husband, they were engaged. It rubbed me wrong. I personally, I think that's too soon.
Is there such thing as too soon?
For me, it is. And who knows? Like, I don't know what their history was, their past. Maybe they've never been married. You know, all of our life experience plays into this. So my answer comes from my life experience. So for me, I think it's too soon. You know, what I've heard as kind of the standard, as you know, the gurus say, is like 6 months. A man knows. Number one, time. You know, how much time you're spending together, things of that nature play a role. And if you're both single, never been married, and you spent a lot of time together, and you've been through at least one thing, you know, that can cause discord, then I think that 3 months is like the earliest. But when you start adding in kids into the relationship, you need more time. Because you add variables to that, right? How the children are going to respond to you, the baby dad, the baby mom, like all of these things, and why, yes, they shouldn't play a role in your relationship, but they do. So for me, now, if you want to get engaged because you're just like, oh my God, like this is it. Okay, you can get engaged and you can be engaged for a year, but actually going through and tying the knot and like, I think that 6 months at the earliest is a good time, but I need us to go through some sort of
You need some strife.
There needs to be a strain placed on the relationship, because
a place of turmoil.
Yeah, there needs to be a situation where we are put in a place to where we have the other sides of us come out. Not necessarily an argument, right? But there needs to be stress put on the relationship. It's just like anything else. You go get a camera, a laptop, whatever, a phone. They stress test them, right? You buy shoes, and Nike, they have the machine that pushes on the bottom and how many steps before the sole starts to give out. These are stress tests. And every product is supposed to or should go through some sort of stress testing before it's put out to market.
Unless it's DEI created, but yeah.
Yes, correct. And I feel like a relationship needs to go through the same thing, and not necessarily because. The reason that I believe that is because you need to see how that person manages or how they deal with high stress, how they deal with arguments or things or conflict. And I think it's important to understand how the person that you're going to be with is going to handle conflict or stress. So, I mean, me personally, my relationship, there are 2 times where I can pick out. I talked to her about this recently, where these are 2 times where they could have potentially ended the relationship because they were big deals. And the way that we manage them and the way that both of us deal with conflict, it was nothing, right? It was like in a past relationship, either of these situations would have ended my relationship. And because of the way that we both deal with stress and how we deal with conflict, it was like, let's talk about this, right? And being able to say what you want to say without the other person feeling like you're attacking them, and vice versa, it changes everything. And you really, and it's like, you can have that conversation. Like, you'll hear these on the show. They'll be like, well, how do you handle conflict? Oh, I come to the person and we sit down and we talk. And it sounds really good on paper, right? Or in a talk show. But then in real life, how do they actually respond, right? Under the actual stress. And that makes a difference. So I think that, at least for me, 6 months before you can propose, and I think a year in totality before you tie the knot, minimum.
So how long you been doing? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
I'm coming up on a year.
Oh, okay. So what are your thoughts, Chris?
Why'd you look at me?
So weird.
Because I'm curious to know Chris's thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, so Candace got engaged in 18 days, but when was the marriage?
It wasn't 18 days.
I know.
I don't know.
Okay, so I agree with a lot of what you said. I don't think time frame is a big deal, honestly. Once again, general rule of thumb, I would say 3 months minimum instead of 6. But
Before engagement.
yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's more about experience. So we talk about time, but you could date a girl for 6 months and you've only seen her 8 times, and it's 6 months, and in between those times you see her, you just text randomly. So it's not about time, it's about experience. What's your experience been with her in that time? That's why with this dude on the Pop the Balloon, I'm like, okay, I can see this, because they literally said they spent like 3 weeks together, like every day. So that's fast forwarding through time, because 3 weeks is 21 actual days spent. So how long would it take? Have you spent 21 days with your girl?
No.
See? So, but still, even the fact that you got to think about it.
No, I have.
Okay, but not grossly more.
I understand what you're.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're coming up on a year.
You're talking about actual hours of time.
I'm talking about time spent together. So I think that plays a role in how you can kind of fast forward a little bit. And but the main thing that I want to say, to kind of reiterate what Steve said, was conflict resolution. It's so annoying on the Pop the Balloon to be like, how do you handle conflict? Because it's like, no one's going to tell you exactly. You're not, even if they're being honest, it's not what it is. You have to just see it. It's like asking someone, are you a good person? Who's going to say no? Yeah, it's like that. But
one dude was like, yo, I hit stuff. And dude got declined after that.
But that's probably the true answer, though. A lot of them dudes up there, I genuinely don't believe that that's how they handle conflict. And I think that a lot of men and women don't actually handle conflict that way. And we see this in reality.
This is why relationships are trash. So, no, they're all lying, except for the one dude that said he hits things, and then you see what happened to him. Mm-hmm. So, the crazy thing is when we say, oh, I want honesty, he was being honest. Yeah. And he gets nixed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the dude that lies gets chose. It's just like, bro, y'all are goofy. But, I think 3 months is a good rule of thumb. And you can speed that up. It's important to go through something, in my opinion. Y'all could go through something in the first month, and that might be enough for you. Mm-hmm. Because it's not just going through it, it's how you guys resolve it. So, in general, I will say, though, if a dude is actively pursuing a woman for, like, let's just say a year, and he's still uncertain, that's not the girl. Yeah. Like, it's pretty simple at that point. We're saying, how long should it be before you can, say, hey, I want to marry you? But it's like,
are we saying say or actually get engaged?
Get engaged.
Okay.
We're talking, how long is it before I can say, hey, I want you to be my wife. Here's the ring. But the reality is, there's also a limit on how long you should be waiting for a nigga to feel that way. Yeah. Like a year?
It shouldn't take that long.
That's way too long.
Yeah.
I think that in regards to time and experience together versus time, right? I think that's a good point. And that may be where I get the 6 months from. Because obviously you can spend time with somebody, and even if they're close, if you're only hanging out, you're going on a date once a weekend, but you guys are together, yada, yada, yada. Like, it's going to take a long time. So for them spending, if they legit were like together every day, all day, you know what I'm saying? 21 days. I mean, that is a lot of time. I want to see her. I want to be around her when she goes through her cycle, right? Like, how do you change?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
change?
I mean, yeah.
Right? Like, there's things like that, right? But even still, I'm not saying that it's wrong. It's not for me.
And also keep in mind, we're talking about one phase of it. The final phase, which is the actual marriage, could still be 6 months to a year later.
Absolutely.
And there's plenty of time to experience certain things during that time frame.
I think that's important to distinguish actually getting engaged and then actually getting married, because you can have an engagement last a year, 2 years. I mean, right? So
That's another red flag too.
Or for an engagement lasting that long.
If a woman is engaged for 2 years, you probably should be calling that off.
the only reason that I could say that, just off the top of my head, a reason that I could say would be acceptable is if they're genuinely in love and she has an expectation of this larger wedding that the man is not financially able to pay for in that moment. And because of what she wants, it just is taking him this long. That's the only time that I could see
And
that would
how
be.
often is that really happening?
I don't think that it's happened. Well, a lot of women want the big wedding.
So you think that a woman will wait 2 years to get her big wedding if her goal is to get married and be a wife?
I think it's a bad idea for both of them in general, because if it's taking him that long for him to save up that amount of money, you're going to start your marriage in a financial crisis. If he's got to save up, if it takes him 2 years to save up $30,000, no shade to this man at all, but if it takes him 2 years to save up $30,000 to pay for this wedding, that's $30,000 you should be saving and putting towards something else.
Yeah,
it's just not a good. But that's the only time where I can say that, okay, maybe I can understand this. I think that people, dude, weddings are a farce. Mm-hmm. Number one, everything costs more just because it's a wedding. Flowers cost more. When my first wedding, I was buying a party bus, and when I was calling these places to get a party bus, they were asking me, "What's the event? What's it for?" And then, as I started calling them, I'm just like, man, these are all so expensive. And they all said, "What's it for?" One of the first questions. So then I called a place, and then they said, "What's it for?" And I was just like, "We're going out for my friend's birthday." And then I was quoted one price. I called them back and said it was for the wedding, and it was $500 more. Exact same date, time, everything. So I then asked somebody, I was like, "Do you guys, are these charged for the event?" And they were like, "Yeah, we do typically change the price for the event because there's more risk. With the wedding, people are going to be drunk, things could happen." And
it's a party bus,
bro.
What event happens on a party bus where you don't expect people to drink?
This is what the man told me. So when you rent venues and all this stuff, weddings are just more expensive in general, and it's ridiculous. So I personally would never marry somebody who wanted we gotta have the $50,000 wedding. We got bro, I'm not doing that. I think that our wedding costs, I think it was $7,000.
Yeah.
7,000, and even still then, I just was like, I mean, her mom.
We wedding crashed at your wedding.
How when we were invited? Oh, you're talking about the other.
Yeah,
wedding.
You crashed another wedding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit was fun. I got a lot of video footage from that too.
Do you? Am I upstairs or downstairs?
I have so much video footage
that I've never seen.
I'm not sure if you haven't.
No,
seen
you haven't
it.
seen.
I haven't seen
Before
anything.
But I have. I was gonna play it at the my birthday, but we didn't have a lot of. But oh man, like when Emma's super tiny. For
real?
Oh man, I have so much of that footage.
I'd like to see some of that sometime.
You're a liability, man.
I'm not a liability. I'm the motherfucking cameraman.
You with all this footage, man.
I'm not putting it out.
It's good when it's good memories.
They're good memories, but maybe
it's
the person, because Samantha's in there too.
I don't.
I mean, I know you don't have any ill will. Maybe she, I don't know.
Yeah.
But even the girl, like all the flower girls and all that. Tyler was there. We got footage with Isaiah and I think it was Isaiah and you were much bigger, and Jonathan and Alana when they were together.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
All that footage.
Mel just brings back all the painful memories.
They're not painful. It was fun for me.
For you.
You know what I mean? We was way crashing, we was dancing, got Chris on the dance floor. You know what I mean?
That was the most crazy. That was one of the crazier things that I've experienced at a wedding. Like I'm standing there, I'm just like, where are y'all coming with these red cups? I think they were red. Like ours were blue, theirs were red or something. Yeah. And I'm just like, where are these coming from? And somebody was and then there was this dude that I didn't know, and he's upstairs on the dance floor. I'm like, who are you?
Who is these?
This is when you don't have no borders, right? I'm like, who are you? He's like, oh, I'm here for the wedding. And I'm just like, the wedding? Like, bro, I don't know you. And then more people came up, and then I saw you or somebody else, and I'm like, where are y'all getting these red cups from? Yeah. And they're like, oh, there's another wedding downstairs with an open bar. Because we ran out of wine, and then there was only beer left. And then we started to run out of beer, and people didn't want beer. And that was...
Yeah, I got all of it. But not all of it, just the what I recorded, you know. And I mean, we'll relive it at one point in time. But I think that
you're gonna wait till my wedding until you bring up the old wedding.
No.
You're gonna bring up this 10-year-old footage.
I mean, it's just footage. It's not meant to be out there for. It is for me personally, because you know. I just like to have those moments. I love those moments. Y'all niggas don't like to rehash or go back and relive shit.
I disagree with you.
Mel likes living in the past.
Yeah, I'm talking about Chris.
Oh, okay.
Chris, I don't watch more things more than once. I don't need to see it more than once. Like, man, I like to enjoy. I like to relive some of those moments.
Seeing that from another perspective, especially my wedding, because I was working at my wedding. You know what I'm saying? Like the one I had to kick that dude out.
So when it comes to weddings, do you think that prior to that there is something that a woman could do that would make you not want to marry them, or to, because you both spoke on a time span of either being too soon or waiting too long. But how long do you think you would have to wait to decide if a conflict that you all go through is something that you can invest in if you can see it go?
Give me a scenario.
So for instance, if there's something that's missing in a relationship that you need, so for my instance, I would need affection in a relationship to know, like, okay, this is the woman that I need, or this is the woman that I could see going the distance for. And if I don't get that affection and I address it and things don't change about, you know, I don't see you being someone who's affectionate, then if I don't see any type of change with it being addressed, then I will automatically start to withdraw.
Okay,
you know?
I understand.
So that's what I would need in a relationship. You know, granted, you need that conflict to understand, like, you know, where the boundaries are or how much you can deal with or tolerate. Because I'm not trying to change anyone to be something that they're not willing to be, or to be something that's just not who they are. And I like to give people some wiggle room to grow, because everyone has different expectations and they come from different walks of life, blase, blah, 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 all that stuff. But at the end of the day, if we don't align morally or ethically when it comes to our relationship, then I think the best thing in that situation is to just dissolve it, because it's not going to grow. If I was talking to someone and they exuded everything that I wanted in a woman, she was caring, nice, kind, but she didn't give affection, that would need to be addressed. And if all the other stuff is good, but that one thing is just like hammering away and is getting on my nerves, it will have to dissolve. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about dissolving a situation. So is there anything that you would need from a woman, you know, to allow that sustainability? Now, granted, there's more than one thing that you would need. So I'm just speaking on that one particular thing, because I understand that there could be a multitude of things that you need in a relationship, for it to prosper. But
yeah, for me, it's support. So, and all of these things come back to our history, right? And our relationships, they expose things that we need and then we didn't have, and the things that we have not grown from, traumas, right? Relationships expose a lot of that stuff. So I learned this is why it's important to be able to take accountability in past relationships, because you can learn what you did well, what you didn't do well.
Yeah.
And then if you can pinpoint that, then you can also pinpoint what you didn't get that that you need. And for me, it's support. And it doesn't mean, support is a very broad term, but at the end of the day, you need to have my back.
I'm with you.
And that means talking to me a particular way.
Wash my clothes.
Right? I'm not even.
What? I need that. I ain't good at washing clothes, nigga. I just throw the shit in there. All right, it's clean.
I mean,
cool.
if that's what you need, cool. I don't need that.
I don't
right?
need it, but
I've been single for so long. It's just like, a lot of that stuff I do by myself. You taking that over is actually kind of weird. Like,
you so independent,
right? And which also that's a whole nother talking point.
Independent man.
But yeah, like support. It's like things that I can't give myself. I can't
give myself head.
give myself. Okay.
I mean, you can't give yourself head, but that's not the game.
That's not what I'm talking about. But
Marilyn Manson took their ribs out or some shit, right? That's crazy. Would you take your ribs out to give head?
No.
But I'm just playing. Go ahead.
Just things that I can't give myself, right? Just that's
head is one of them.
Okay.
Was that what you thinking?
No.
So what were you thinking?
I love when I don't feel the greatest, right? I may be fasting and I just don't feel good, right? Or I just don't don't feel good about myself that day. And I'll send her a picture and she's just like, "Oh my God, you're so handsome." And I'm just like, I don't feel that way today. You know what I mean? But thank you.
You need that.
It's just seeing, for me, having the way that I see myself is not the way that the world sees me.
Yeah.
And because my life has gone through such a big change, I need that. It's really important to me because she tells me how the world sees me. Yeah. Right? Like she'll be in one of our calls or something, and she'll just be like, when you talk about yourself and like your experience and you're transparent, you really connect with people, and it's really like it really makes you shine. And it's just like it's something that I know, but then she'll start pointing things out. You know what I mean? She'll screenshot me stuff and be like, "Look what this person said. Look at this."
That's dope.
It really support in that manner is huge. We have the retreat coming up, and the first thought was for her, it was like, I'm going to come to the retreat just to make sure that I'm there for Steven, to make sure that he's not stressed out, or, just to be there and watch him work. Like, to me, that's a big thing. And I've expressed to her, like, in the future, when I start doing, I start traveling and start doing speaking engagements and stuff, I'm like, baby, I want you there in the front row. I just want you. And she was like, absolutely. Like, of course, things that to me is so important. And part of that's important because I didn't have that at all before. I was completely unsupported. And I realized in that relationship how much that means to me. And then I started to kind of trace that back through my childhood and just all my other relationships. I was very unsupported, and I'm like, this is a need. So that's why I know that's so big. And part of the reason why I'm like, I'm marrying this girl is because of that. Like, obviously there's the physical part, but it's even besides that, it's all the non-physical things that she does, and they just come natural to her. It's not like they have to be fake or they're forced. It's just who she is. And even, even when it's something, I don't know, even when it's something that maybe she doesn't necessarily want to do, right, she still supports. So that's my answer.
Nice. How about you, Chris?
What was the question?
The question is about, is there anything that you would need from a woman? Well, is there anything? I'm just, I don't need a woman for anything, but for.
Basically,
You
something
don't even
that
remember your own question.
Because nigga, I didn't think I'd explain it again.
something that is
y'all,
something
y'all over-explain the question, get all these examples. Don't nobody remember nothing.
something that is missing, right, from a relationship that would cause you to end the relationship, or as Mel said, dissolve or cut off or end the
something that you need in a relationship.
Well, the example that you gave was, in my opinion,
he needs support.
No, I'm
Mel
talking
needs
about you, Mel.
affection.
Yeah,
I'm talking about you. Like when you gave your example, I was thinking to myself, I would have never got engaged with her in the first place. Okay. So it's that.
It doesn't necessarily have to be engagement.
I understand, huh?
No, I'm saying
Your question was, what's going to cause you to call the engagement off? Well, I wouldn't have got engaged with her. You're naming things that are like, they're number one. It's like, I need affection. Is she affectionate? No. Okay, she's not on the engagement list.
Yeah, but
I need support. Is she supportive? No. Okay, she's not on the engagement list.
It could be something that they are doing that you've mentioned, and they've just put on a mask to do it. But if it's not something that they naturally do, then it's being forced.
And are you saying you can't tell she's putting a mask on for it?
I don't understand why this question is so hard for you.
that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, bro, it can't be this difficult.
It's
I mean,
not.
we can just
I
skip
feel
it.
like the question is very simple, and I'm being extremely clear, and this is very easy. You niggas are making it difficult.
So what is the answer?
The answer is, if we're already engaged, if she's going to do something that's going to cause me to say it's over, it's going to be like she's going to stab me or something. It's not going to be one of the core principles of something I need from a woman.
Okay, well then what is something that you would need would stop you from getting into a relationship with her?
To stop me from getting engaged with her?
Yes. Sure.
Okay, so now this is a different question.
it's
I just told you what would stop me from marrying her if we got engaged. She would have to stab me, assault me. She would have to do something like that. Call me a bitcha,
what is something that if you were in a relationship and you realize this cannot go any further?
So my answer is not good enough.
So
We can just move on to a different one.
so Chris would have to be
He's
Chris would
simply
have to be
always saying
stabbed.
because I wouldn't get into this
I don't
relationship
understand.
if she's done or shown these things. I wouldn't engage or I
Correct.
wouldn't get engaged.
I understand. So what
That's
is
obvious?
No, that's an obvious
That's
answer.
why the question doesn't make
But somehow
make
he
sense.
can answer it properly.
And Mel can
I
answer
can
it properly.
answer it properly.
But you can't.
you have to stick on. I wouldn't get engaged.
So then let me ask you this then, since y'all are so knowledgeable about relationships.
No, I'm not-
obvious answers of questions.
No, it's just a question.
So you're gonna get engaged, Mel, with a girl that doesn't show you affection? Yes or no?
No.
Exactly.
I
But
just
that's the
explained-
example you
He
gave.
literally just explained.
I just
not
explained
fuck-
it.
Okay, fuck engagement. Someone that you would be in a relationship with.
No, that was the question you asked.
If you're in a relationship with a
so
girl
difficult?
and there's something you want, I don't know, physical touch, and she naturally is not touchy-feely, but you've told her that this is something that I need in a relationship, so she's been doing it, but then she's doing it because she's forcing it. Now, 6 months, 8 months into relationship, and let's say let's take engagement off the
So
table.
you're saying she's lured me in with false pretenses.
Wow.
That's what you just said.
Okay, go ahead.
Is that not what you just said? What's the wow for? She's lured me in with false pretenses. She's pretended to be someone that she's not. We fall in quote unquote love. I get engaged to her. What would it take for me to break up? The fact that she fucking lied about who she was. Like, it doesn't matter what it was, whether I need support, loyalty, trust, whatever.
Okay,
any of the fake things that she presented.
Okay, well, what is one of the things that she could fake present to you that would make you then that she would have to lie about?
Mindset. If she lied about her mindset, if she pretended to be on the same wavelength as me as far as what I wanted from, my future and how I envision my family goals, housing, food, the way we eat, our lifestyle. If she lied about that stuff, if it wasn't what she wanted, and she's just saying it, then yeah, I'm going to break up with her. There you go.
Thank you.
So just a liar.
No, mindset.
Okay.
So basically, she lied about her actual alignment with the things that I want. She wasn't actually aligned. See, that's all you have to say.
No, he just tried to break it down to liar.
No,
Well, that's basically what it came down
that was secondary. But I mean,
Well, her mindset is of a liar. She's someone who lies.
I mean, aren't all of these girls liars? Every scenario that you just said, she would be a liar. She's pretending to be something she's not. So I could say Steve's thing's a liar, your thing's a liar.
No,
I said if she's not supportive,
you need someone that's supportive.
I need someone that's supportive.
But she had to have at least pretended to be supportive for you to get engaged with her.
No, not particularly, because I can be with somebody and then there's all these other things that I love about them, which get me 90% of the way. But if there's one thing that stops me from moving forward, what would it be? It would be that. That would be like my number one thing. You can still be in a relationship with this person. We had to do all this back and forth and changing because of you. Don't try to change our answers and what we came up with.
I'm not changing anything. What y'all said didn't make any sense based on the question.
I don't understand how Mel was able to answer it. I was able to answer it.
You can answer a question any way you want. People deflect all the time. It doesn't mean it answered the question. The question was, Mel,
you don't even know what the question was.
You don't even know what the question was.
You don't even know what the question was. I'm literally about to say the question.
No, you don't even know what it was.
Y'all are trying to stop me.
You don't even know what it was.
So we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, we can move on. Yeah,
like Chris is, y'all see how Chris does.
Yeah, you do realize they're watching in real time. They can see all this nonsense.
Yeah, and I guarantee they're gonna know what the fuck we want.
All right,
and you gotta be. What do you mean?
I would have never even gotten in a relationship with her. What are you talking about?
Answer?
Yeah, Chris. If someone is being truthful, but we know that people start relationship with masks on. They don't always give who they are,
that's part of the vetting process.
Or maybe that's great,
that's
and they can
3 to 6 months.
Great. Do you okay? And guess what? You can still sometimes get things to a metal detector that are metal. So it's not. There's no perfect situation.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then it's an ongoing thing forever, which means that there has to be fundamental things that you find in an individual where you're like, you know what, even if X situation comes up, we can work through it because we have these cornerstones of our relationship. And that's what I look for.
What is something you need, though, from a woman when you're in a relationship with them?
Are you asking for something else I need?
What is something that you need? He said he needs support.
I said that I need someone who has a similar mindset of mine as mine.
All right, fine.
That would have been your answer.
That's simple.
That's all. That would have been your answer.
It doesn't have to be all this.
You had to make this whole big old.
It's not the answer to the question he asked.
It is.
It's literally what it is. It's literally what it is.
All right.
See, the problem is that you started off with, what was the question? That's the problem.
No, the problem is all the explaining that he had to do initially to get you to answer it.
No, because the question that he initially asked, I didn't quite understand it.
Really?
So I said, give me an example.
Do you remember what that question was?
I didn't quite understand what he was asking for.
So you didn't understand his words that came out of his mouth. Can you regurgitate the words?
No, because it didn't make sense.
Exactly.
So when I said
I don't remember the question, when I said I don't remember the question, you're sitting up here saying, well, Chris, you should have been paying attention, but you literally didn't understand the words that came out of his mouth.
No, there's a difference between.
This is ridiculous.
No.
Niggas are crazy.
No.
You crazy, nigga.
There's a difference between saying, can you clarify your question? And I don't remember the question.
Did you hear the words that came out of his mouth?
I said, can you clarify the question? Give me an example.
Can you regurgitate what he said?
You said, I don't remember.
It was 10 minutes later.
Which means you weren't paying attention.
He was talking for 5 minutes and you were talking for 5 minutes.
I was talking like 3 minutes, bro.
Tell me what he said originally, Steven. I bet you cannot tell
That's
me.
Irrelevant.
That's irrelevant.
Stop
message,
trying to protect him.
The question.
Stop trying to protect him. It's very relevant to what I'm saying because I answered the original question.
No. The original, you don't
know what it was.
You don't know. You had to ask us
you
what
had
was the
to ask
question.
For clarification.
You had to ask us what was the question.
You had to ask for clarification.
You don't even know.
You have no idea what the original question was. You never did.
Listen. Chris doesn't understand.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know. He's always playing the victim.
His polling numbers are down.
His numbers are down. The people in the comments understand. They trust me and Mel.
They trust us. So believe in us.
Believe in us.
Steven
and Mel.
2024. We won't lead you wrong.
We won't lead you wrong. We won't talk you in circles.
We won't get you in circles. I know Steven. He's a great guy. You know? He doesn't have us jumping over hurdles.
Mel has a very good moral compass.
You know, we like to be clear. We like to, if I know arguing over there, we don't want to argue. Why we don't argue? You know, it's a team thing. You know, but
He said the shot was supposed to change me. The shot's supposed to change. I'm supposed to be a nice guy now.
he's still he going out there going hard, man.
It's because of that prophecy. That prophecy. Everybody's talking about how the prophecy is going to change him. We saw it at the first speech, but after that, he was like, "Prophecy's over."
Yeah.
Did he say that?
No.
Oh.
Nah, I think it's dope though. Like seeing the way he's maneuvered through that.
The fact that he is still doing his thing without missing a step after
All the stuff.
I feel like the first like speech after his shot was like a little bit more emotional, but now after this, he got his swagger back.
He's more what's the word?
he's more Trump than he was before.
Yeah.
But not in I'm not gonna say he feels bulletproof, but he just first of all, the fact that he's even still running
Right.
after all of this is just listen, at the end of the day, win, lose, or draw, the fact that even after all of this, and they tried to take him off the ballots. They tried to seize his homes. Like they tried to, put him in jail. They tried to kill him. And even after all of this, you're still running.
You know what you just said? Like everything that he's endured up until this point, even getting killed. I'm just like, how do y'all see that? They're literally aiming for this guy.
It is the most clearest thing in the world.
I tell people, like, stop listening to what everyone else out there is saying. Just look at what's happening.
Look at what's happening to him. And he still is running. Like, I'm sorry. If you were doing this just for money, if you were doing this just for, like, bro, he's already been a president. He can mark it off. Like, he's slated into American history at this point.
Yeah.
Like, but he's willing to. Do you think that now, just because this is, he got away once, it's over?
I think that now that I feel like now that the shot has gone down, that a lot of people they rush to the notion of thinking that, all right, he's going to be the president. He's our president or whatever. But now that they've announced, well, they haven't like officially announced, but it's being put out there that Kamala is going to be the vice president. Now,
president.
Huh?
President. Sorry. I'm sorry. She's the vice president, but she's going to be president. Now that's out there that she's the front runner for presidency, which I didn't expect.
She is the Democratic nominee.
No, she
Not.
isn't, because she hasn't been like
Voted?
yeah, she's only been backed or saying, but she isn't the official nominee.
They don't
yet.
have, technically,
Well,
they
they
don't
don't.
have one.
They don't have one.
No, they don't.
Technically.
Technically, they don't.
Okay, so here's my theory. I think that Biden's going to die. He's
Yeah.
probably already dead.
Yeah,
So he's going
most
to die.
people think he's already dead.
Right. I mean, he's been dead for a while. With all the deep fakes, why are you doing it if he's alive? Like,
Yeah.
so he's probably already dead. So he's going to die. She's now being backed, whatever. She's not the official whatever, but she's being backed. That's going to be like, okay, boom, she'll become president for a very short, we're talking 3 months, you know what I mean? And then that'll buy them time to make some other move, I guess. But I guess during that time, they're either going to use it to leverage that position. Okay, she is the president, technically. And they're going to try to use it to get her in the office for the next term. Or it's just to buy them time. But I mean, either Kamala's going to become president in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Or
She might. I think because I was listening to Hotep Jesus. I'm telling you,
What do you say?
man, bro, a lot of the talking points, a lot of verbiage, a lot of just a lot of things that they talk about that has happened.
You talked about prior?
It's like either about to happen, and it happened like 2 months before when they were already talking about it. I'm just like, yo, it's crazy. Like it's sort of like Alex Jones. If you listen to Alex Jones, a lot of things that he said has come to pass. And what Chris is talking about, how, she'll become president within a couple of weeks because Joe Biden's dead. They were talking about because they're into the numbers as well. You look at numbers, and if you look at, there was something about 33, something on a 33 that's happening where it opens portals and shit. And they saying that either on the, I think either it was the 6th, August 6th or August 16th, whenever the DNC is happening, whenever that's supposed to happen, that's when like Joe Biden is going to be announced or he's going to be dead. And then she's going to take hold and take place and become actual president. And so, yeah, a lot of that stuff, it's been predicted to happen.
I could see that. Because, or Congress goes through and, they impeach him basically.
For what? If they haven't impeached him by now,
well, man, do impeachments even matter? Because they
not
impeached
really.
Trump like twice.
It doesn't matter.
Well, impeachment is not the word. Invoke the 25th Amendment. That's actually what it means, which means you're not competent to serve as the actual president and you get removed.
But during the last 3 months of his presidency, it's like, what's the point?
Someone, I can't remember who I listened to. Either it was a politician or maybe one of the hoteps, where they said Joe Biden, he was supposed to go to jail or because of his son, and also because of like stuff that he hid, and he got persecuted and he got let off of going to jail because he is
he's got dyslexia or
he's
dementia.
He's not fit.
He's demented.
He's not aware of what he did. But this is the person that is currently in office running the president.
Right, exactly.
Being a president. I'm just like, bro, like if you can't see that this is all orchestrated, someone who can who is guilty of showing that they can do something, but literally got let off because they are incompetent to do so. Yeah. But they're in positions to run the country. Like, come on.
It's just like, do y'all have zero critical thinking? Like, this is what we were saying when this all went down, when he had the special counsel do his the what's it called, the documents case, right? And like everyone was just like, how is it that you don't have the mental faculties that a jury would find him to be a well-meaning elderly man and would not convict him, but yet he can run the country? And that was 3-4 months ago.
Yeah.
And then now 3 months later, he's got to drop out because he can't even debate. Like he was getting so bad, but then yet you think that we're okay. And then now last week they have Chinese and Russian bombers literally together flying around Alaska in American airspace. Like, what? There's something like.
There's
do you think that they don't look at us like? And then now what? Like if something happens, I think then you have. Is it Kamala or Kamala?
Nobody knows. Nobody actually knows.
Because people be like, don't be saying her name wrong. Bro, I don't know how to pronounce it. I've heard Kamala. I've heard Kamala.
I think it's Kamala.
I think it's Kamala, too.
I think it's Kamala.
Yeah.
So,
but I will keep calling her Kamala if I want to.
Yeah.
I have zero respect for her.
Same here.
And I only worry about people's names that I have at least some respect for.
I mean, the fact that it just frustrates me that people, the black community, just keep like.
Have y'all seen actual people that y'all know or that's voting for Kamala or supporting Kamala?
Isaiah.
He is?
Mm-hmm. I've only seen posts. I mean, stuff on Instagram, but
I saw him say thank you for letting me come and support and having that picture. Well,
he
took a picture with her.
He took a picture of her, I think. But he was working at a convention. So the one that she just did in Indiana, she did like her second speech for the Zetas.
Okay.
So that she was coming to speak at.
Oh, because she's an
beta. She's an AKA.
Okay.
So, which she basically.
Is that why Isaiah we taking pictures with them damn canes?
Well, he
be stabbing. Like, what are you out there doing, man?
He's a Kappa now, so but he was online in college with me, and he finally finished everything up and went through the whole process.
I'm like, man, he reliving the college experience. What's going on?
He's living his best life, man.
Yeah. He's getting it. Yeah.
But she concerns me because the Prime Minister of Israel came to America, did his speech, and then you had these protesters burning the American flag.
Oh yeah.
And then raising the Palestinian flag.
Bro, that was insane. In America.
In Washington.
That's crazy.
And she did not come out and say, stop burning our flag. Like, I don't care. Like, stop burning our flag. She didn't say anything about it.
That's crazy.
It's just like, Bro, what's wrong with you?
That's crazy.
I'm sorry. I don't care. Honestly, I truly don't understand the whole Palestinian Hamas. I don't understand it.
I'm with you.
I purposely have just avoided it because it doesn't pertain to me.
It's not your world.
It's not my world.
It's not a worry
Something
of yours
is happening across the world, and I'm not saying that it's war is bad in general, right? But for me to get emotionally engaged, like, and then it's not my job. If we're gonna support whatever is happening, we can support financially, we can support with military. But other than that, all these people getting so emotionally engaged, are y'all Palestinian? Are y'all like? Why are y'all so?
That's what I don't understand.
I don't understand. And it's always, and it's like damn, what's his name? There's the comedian Schultz.
Andrew Schultz.
He was doing this joke, and he was like, Jewish people, y'all are okay here. Like all the Palestinian protesters are at in
DC.
Yeah, or some they're somewhere, basically saying that they're all lesbians, right? And he was like, how did all the lesbians now are just supporting this whole Hamas movement? Like, what's wrong with y'all? Something is going on here.
I think it's a facade in a sense, because I don't know anyone in real life who, like, granted, I know there are people out there who truly are brainwashed by what's going on, but I don't know anyone in my day-to-day who says free Palestine or who goes hard and crazy like that.
You mean in real life or online?
In real life, because online there's a plethora of it.
Yeah.
And so when I think about it happening online, I think about the agendas that they're pushing, or the message that they try to push out to the public to make us think that the world is in chaos and there's so many people who are supporting us. So it could be that the people who wrote on it, was that Liberty Bell? I'm not sure if it's a Liberty Bell, but they wrote on the bell all this graffiti. They had people burning the American flag and supporting the Palestine flag. I see that, but that video or this group of people, it looks bigger online because you get a lot more comments, you get a lot more reactors to it, when it's just this cesspool of people creating corruption. And it's part of the plan. No one would go on the Capitol or go to the Capitol without a mask on and purposely burn the flag of the country. I thought that was like
a federal offense.
I mean, if you rip $1 in half, or if you like do something on money, that's considered a crime.
The American flag is not even allowed to touch the ground.
I think it's protected under free speech or something. You probably
burning the flag.
Probably can. I'm sure there's some type of legal protection.
Even if
this is probably the only country where you can do that.
That's crazy.
Even if they can, I don't care what you stand for. Bro, stand for whatever you want, okay? But if I was the president and I represent the country and this is my flag, you don't burn my flag.
You're an enemy.
You don't burn my flag.
You're an enemy. You automatically become an enemy.
Okay, great. You can have freedom of speech, but now you are now disturbing the peace. Y'all arrest people for y'all make shit up. No, you're burning a flag. You're disturbing the peace. Everyone's going to jail.
They could just get them for having an open fire. I'm sure there's
right now. You get fucking black people and having barbecues. So, the flame is too big, right? Like, no, arrest them. Like, I'm sorry, you guys hate America so bad. Move. Like, if you
Steve, you sound like one of them white rednecks from the South.
No,
you
man,
like this country.
Go back where you came from.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm with you 100%.
This all pertains to burning the flag. Like, I get it. You can be mad. There's tons of stuff I don't like about America either. Everything that's happening right now in politics, I think is BS. I think it's BS. But I'm still happy that I'm in America, right? I mean, like, I'm happy that I didn't grow up in a third world country or something. Like, I'm still happy. I can have my gripes, right? Like, it's just like my family. I'm happy that I had both my parents in my life. Right? Were they together the whole time? Were things perfect? No. I can be unhappy, right? But I'm still happy that both of my parents are still here and I can talk to them. Like, I'm happy about that, right? Like, I'm never gonna burn my family crest, right? Like It's just like, to me, I don't know.
I think you're right, because I think you shouldn't disrespect granted, like you said, America is not the greatest place to, but compared to a lot of other countries out there, we have a lot more benefits and a lot more
freedoms.
The illusion of freedom.
Try to do that. No, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Freedoms, but go to China and do that. You can't even post something negative about China, or they will arrest you.
We don't know what's going on in China.
I'm telling you.
I know that they got the Blade Runners out there taking on the camera, that social monitoring system, that credit score.
Yeah,
the Blade Runners are out
there.
They got people taking
a hacking group.
No, Blade Runners, Blades sauce.
They're literally cutting down the cameras so they can't monitor them.
You can't.
I think because the Republic of China is like that. Like, you don't have the freedoms that you have in America that you the freedoms that you have here. You don't have those in China, right? That's the same thing and you're like North Korea and South Korea. You can't go to you can't just walk into North Korea, right, and do the things you do in South Korea. Like, there's a lot.
You don't know that. And by the way, your girl Kamala said that we have great relations with North Korea. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah,
she's an idiot.
She's an idiot.
Here's my thing. I don't respect her because, bro, she was a lawyer. Like, when? And how did you pass the bar? You're an idiot.
I heard she failed.
You're an idiot. So it's like I'm confused at how did you get this far?
Even without the propaganda, the right-wing propaganda. No, I've just watched you.
I just watch you. Listen to her. She talks gibberish. She says things that are just any fourth grader would know aren't true. You accidentally said that we have great relations with North Korea? Everybody knows that's not true.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Most people don't know leaders of other countries, but they know Kim Jong-un.
They know him.
They know him.
They think he's basically the modern Hitler.
People know Kim. They know Putin.
And you messed that up. It's like, no, you can't mess that up. You're just an idiot.
And the vice president is supposed to be in charge of foreign policies.
The thing that people don't realize is that she's stupid. I mean, incompetent, not qualified. If you want to talk about not qualified, everything that she has done, she's got appointed to. She's never gotten the respect or earned the decent vote of the people who want to put her in positions. It's the system that's elevating her. It's a consistent voice about how she got to where she is. There's about her basically sucking her way to the top or sexing her way to these positions. And based on the rhetoric that I've been hearing from her, or just interviews, or just hearing her speak, and her cackling, ha 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 ha, you can tell it's not from a genuine place. It's all coming from a place of trying to get ahead and deceiving people. And I'm curious to know, aside from her being a woman, and aside from her being a
don't you say that
black woman, what is it that people are voting for when it comes to Kamala?
Great question. First of all, let me ask you this. When we look at people that are in the Caribbean and they are dark-skinned, do we call them black, or what do we call them?
Caribbean?
Right.
Whatever the fuck they from.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we look at Jamaicans, when you see a Jamaican, do you call them black, or are they Jamaican?
A Jamaican.
We're black, quote unquote. You would not call me Jamaican, right? You a Haitian. You don't call Haitian people Haitians or black. They're Haitian, right? Kamala is Indian and Jamaican. Where did we get black from?
That's the illusion.
Where because her skin color is this melanated skin, she's black?
She's AKA.
Because she's AKA, she's one of the sisters, she's black? She's not.
One thing I will say, in America, what does happen to Jamaicans, Haitians, whoever, they do get muddled up, right? Just by society.
If you fill out a census, there's Jamaican.
Correct. I'm just saying by society, meaning if you go out in America and you see a person with similar skin tone, you will assume that they're black. and so that's
That's where that's coming from. But
in any official capacity, where she's talking about her heritage, or she should say, "I'm Jamaican and Indian" or whatever.
Right. She says she's black, and it's like your Indian part of your mom is pure off the boat Indian. Mm-hmm. Like no disrespect, right? When I say off the boat, I'm saying that they dress like the people around us in our neighborhood. They're Indian. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen her father in pictures. I don't know. I have no idea what he looks like, but if you call a Jamaican person black, they're going to be like, I'm Jamaican. Period. Mm-hmm. So the fact that the black community, particularly women, are just rallying behind her because she's black is crazy to me. Yeah. Like the community, she even said in an interview that when she was asked, are you going to make sure that you take care of the black community? Are you going to make sure that you do things for the black community? She said, no, I'm not going to focus on the black community. I'm focused on all communities. Mm-hmm. But then in other interviews now, as she's been vice president, yada, 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 she's like, we got to take care of the Asian people when COVID was happening. We got to take care. Well, you ain't never said you got to take care of the black community.
Correct.
You've never said that, but we, as the brainwashing, just said, well, she's black, so we got to support her. No.
I think that, at the end of first of all, she raised $81 million.
See,
I don't think that's
real. But $50 million of it was given to her, right?
A lot of that money were people that were already ready to donate
to Joe Biden,
but they held that money back because they're just like, we don't know what's happening right now. So the only reason that money was already coming in, and then it basically was a gate where people were like, nah, we're chilling. So let's say, for example, they were donating, but they're just donating to a super PAC, right? But that super PAC does not go to her. It's just in a holding. So then now you had 50 million, let's say, that's already been donated to the super PAC.
Right.
But now they're like, okay, she's running. They just say, okay, we'll just move that. It's 50 million one day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's fake numbers.
All fake news.
It's how they play with mathematics.
It creates the illusion to make you think that she's doing great when really she's
got all this momentum. Yeah. Well, the reality is the only people that really support her are probably left extremists and black women. These are the only people, and these are small minorities. It's not like it's not like it's enough to.
You're not.
I want to play a video whenever y'all finish, and that speaks to a lot of this. It's on 3 minutes, but go ahead.
I was just gonna say you're not gonna win with just black people because
black people, black women.
Because online they can do these polls and yada yada yada. All sounds good, but when it comes down to it, like a lot of black people just don't vote. Mm-hmm. Period. Like you can have all the support online and give you money, but they just don't vote. So, and Trump has already taken many black men. And you can still have these, we have these polls. We know the polls can be shady. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, she went up in the polls. Like, who's voting?
Bro.
Who's doing this voting?
45% or something? Like
1% less than Trump.
Like, bro, this is obviously fake.
Who's doing this voting? But then it's like, bro, to me, I just don't. It's the media.
Yeah.
And it's the media saying this is this and this. And that's why Trump and them are like, bro, we're not worried about that. Like, she's.
Check this. The reason why I was asking about the who do we see, or like why are people wanting to vote for Kamala? Because there's a lot of women who speak like this, which is okay.
Let me ask you a question. Would you vote for it?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm gonna just be real honest with this. She's a black woman.
Because they folk, not Kim folk. It goes back to what somebody was saying, where it's not voting for someone, but majority will vote for somebody else just to.
Hold on. Let me man this out.
I think majority.
Is it only because she's a black woman?
Yeah.
Do you not see how that's a bad idea?
Elaborate.
Okay, so
She didn't even answer the question.
We're in 3 proxy wars with some of the most powerful leaders in the world. She failed at the border, in which we have an estimation of 15 to 20 million people illegally into this country. that is literally overtaking and bankrupting Chicago to the tune of over $400 million per year, and they're in a deficit. Oakland is going out of business. San Francisco ditto. California, $65 billion deficit. New York, they're literally cutting trash, in which they are the rattiest, dirtiest city, and they've taken up resources as far as free healthcare, free hotels to the tune of $600 a day. They're literally taking over your schools. Your taxpayer dollars are going to fund the migrant crisis. She was supposed to be in charge of this. We have a failing economy. Every single day I see people getting on the internet talking about $30 an hour is the new minimum wage because inflation is fucking out of control. At one point, it was at almost 10%, depending on what city that you in. She has no policy, no record to stand on. One of the biggest things that she did in her career was lock up more black men than ever before, but we sitting here and vote her in office on identity politics. The very person that she was under as far as the president of the United States of America, she called him racist during a debate, which shows you how fake she is. And the only thing that we can stand on from a policy perspective is whether or not she's black and she's a woman. We did that during the Obama administration, and he didn't do anything for black people. As a matter of fact, y'all complain because the only person that he did, or the only group of people that he really stood for is the alphabet community, and that's his landmark thing that he's still standing on today. So the only thing that we have to stand on is identity politics. That shit didn't work with Tiffany Henyard in Dayton, Illinois. It didn't work with Karen Bass. It didn't work with Lori Lightfoot in Chicago. It didn't work with Brandon Johnson that then took over her position in Chicago. It didn't work with Andre Dickens in Atlanta. It didn't work with Eric Adams in New York. It doesn't work across the country. Every single Democratic city is a hellhole. And we sitting here talking about identity politics?
I'm gonna have to go watch the rest of that.
Yeah, that was.
I saw that, but I just don't be having the time.
That was on Twitter.
Well, it's on his channel, but on YouTube,
Oh,
Anton
okay.
Daniels. But I was just like, man,
That was. Yeah, see, I'm not into politics like that to be able to. I don't have all.
But we have the general energy around it. We understand.
like it's not a good decision to put her in there simply because she's a woman and she's black.
If you have a list of the things of her policies that you say, I like this, I like this, I like this. If you want to vote for her, go for it. Right? Completely. Listen, you vote for who you want to vote for. I'm not telling anyone not to do that. But at least understand what you're asking for. But you can't sit here and complain that your job isn't paying you enough, your rent is too high, you can't afford groceries, and then look at the reason for inflation, which is Biden and Harris, and then complain about it. Like, it's just like cognitive dissonance. It doesn't make sense. Like, do you not feel it? You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel it the way that they're feeling it.
Right.
Like these, I mean, the complaints online, like y'all just all the time. I need more money. Rent is going up.
Dude, I was talking because in the gaming community, I was telling people like, bro, can't y'all just look at the world that's around you? Like, can you see that people are struggling?
You don't feel it?
Like, people are struggling. Like, they're literally living check to check. They need help. People have trouble finding jobs. Or if you look at inflation increasing, that happens. Look at the price of food, how much that is increasing. Then you look at gas, how much that is increasing. But people who are working these jobs as being paid by companies, they aren't getting pay raises to compensate for the inflation and all the cost of things just going up. Businesses aren't compensating that properly. Like, I still work for the man, and they still only give us
25 cents a year or every 3 months or whatever.
They'll give you like 3% or some shit like that, you know.
Well, inflation is supposed to be 3%.
Yeah, but it was way more than
it's never
3.
been 3%.
No.
There's probably some historical, inflation over the past 100 years is,
Yeah, but I think that also with inflation, I forget what it is, but there's some very important things that don't go into inflation. Things that cost us a lot.
Well, of
but
course.
are not factored into inflation.
Let's just think about the most obvious thing is tax. Like, if I get paid $1, the dollar I get paid is already taxed by the person who paid me the dollar. I then have to go spend that dollar at the store that gets taxed, and then that person gets the dollar and it got to get taxed again by Anyway, but what I saw recently was this lady who she was coming out of the grocery store with her daughter in hand, and she on the side of her car it was like realtor. Let's just say I don't remember, but it was like she had advertisement on the side of her car. Meanwhile, I leave a little bit after her, because like she left and I can't remember, but I was like, let's just say I was maybe 10 minutes behind her. It just so happened we're going the same direction. It just so happened, and she's coming from an apartment or a city. I don't know what to call it. Viridian. This is like the little neighborhood we have here, right?
Yeah.
And she's leaving Viridian as I'm coming. We were both at Tom Thumb together. I'm 5-10 minutes behind her, and I go down the road and she's turning out of Viridian. I said, she's doing Instacart. She's doing Instacart. There's no way that she was at the grocery store and went to Viridian and left that fast.
Okay.
Like
Someone could say, well, maybe she just have to drop some groceries off and then go back to the.
I'm like, no. I said no. I said she's doing Instacart. She has her baby going around doing Instacart with her because she don't have the support of family, friends, a man, whatever, to take the baby.
And she's a realtor.
And she's doing real estate. So by the day she's doing the real estate, by night she's doing Instacart. Like, people are out here, and look, people can say, well, Chris, you're just assuming. Okay, granted, I'll give you that. I know 5 women that do that. That's the reason why I even thought of it.
I have a friend recently. He watches our podcast. Well, I don't know if he watched the whole thing, but he definitely watched the clips. And he told me recently he does DoorDash. And I just was like, wait, 2 years ago, you bought a business. Like, I mean, you make good money. Like, and I was just so confused. Like, why are you door dashing? You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's no shade, but it's like, it clearly is like, well, I have to, clearly.
Yeah.
Right there, I have to.
You need more money.
So it's just like, for me, all these politics and all this stuff, we can throw all that out the window. How do you feel? What is happening in your life? And if you have to work 2 jobs and then do Instacart, DoorDash, Uber on the side just to make it, just to get to a point where you're like, oh, I'm okay, that's a problem. And part of the problem is the policies that are currently in place in the United States, whatever party it is, doesn't matter. And you can't sit here and complain about money and you're not happy with how life is right now and how much you're having to work, but then be complicit with the people that are in charge of what is happening. You can say it's the businesses. You can say the companies aren't paying more. You can say it's da-da-da-da-da. Well, who is in charge of those things? Like, you guys literally 4 years ago know how things were. Your money went further. We all know this. It was just a couple years ago. So you can't say, people are like, oh, well, Trump's going to be a dictator. Wasn't he a dictator 4 years ago?
Right.
Didn't you get the biggest stimmy you ever got?
What do you mean the biggest? The first stimmy.
By the way, not the first.
Why did we ever get stimmy
Because
before?
presidents
Bush is
giving
giving
out
stimmies,
stimulus.
too. But
Whoa. I got extra money on my unemployment. I never got a check from Bush.
I've gotten checks.
You're supposed to get a check.
I've gotten checks.
You got checks from Bush?
I got Bush and I guess
Obama. I think Obama had a stimmy too.
well, during the pandemic, they gave out checks too.
Well, that was Trump.
Okay.
I'm talking about a non-Trump.
they've had stimmies. It doesn't matter. The point is,
I never understood.
so you have one president doing that, then you have the other president coming in on the like. This is probably landmark inflation. Nah, maybe not. It might have been higher at some point, but this is very close to landmark inflation. And then you're squeezing the American people saying, by the way, anything over $600, you got to report on Cash App.
Bro.
Like,
And
that is so petty.
And it was $20,000 before. We went from $20,000. So you can get Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, $20,000. It's personal money. No reporting. But then now it dropped from 20,000 to 600.
And it's like, what do you think they did that for? You think they did that to help the American people at all? How could that ever? Listen, it's like we know niggas are gonna do some shady stuff right now. The economy's in the trash. leave him alone for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you should do.
That's what you should do. That's what Trump did. The policies and things are designed by Biden to squeeze the last little bit of water you got. Just squeeze as much as you can. And then they send
like $40 billion to Ukraine.
All of those small businesses that popped up during the pandemic, thanks to Trump, are all squeezed out. Everybody's failed.
Yeah, but what they do is they use those numbers touting. We have more people in healthcare than ever before, right? There's more jobs that are created than ever before. Why do you think people need jobs? Why do you think we have more people on healthcare? Why do you think? Because the stay-at-home mom now has to work. She now has to do real estate, and then now she has to Instacart. So now that goes from one job now to two. Right? Like, these people are having to go out of the way, but they use those as talking points to say, this is progress. You think more people working is progress? Like, but it sounds good with politics, but it's not.
Well, it's not more people working. It's the multiplication of jobs. Like, I now have to work 3 jobs. So is that 3 people working?
No, but but they can just say that's a job. That's 2 more jobs created.
Right.
No, that's one person now having to have 2 other part-time jobs on top of, because today everyone knows you got to have a side hustle.
Of course.
You used to have those people that were entrepreneurs and they just shucked and dive, right? They just moving all over the place. If you don't have some sort of side hustle, you're going to be struggling.
And everything that you're speaking about when it comes to, all these people looking to get other jobs in order to make it by, it's an obvious thing that's happening, but once it actually happens, people will feel the effects much more. But it's literally getting rid of the middle class, because now the people who have already been struggling, who are already poor, they're having a much harder time than ever before. But now you have a spike in inflation and taxes and gas prices and layoffs and things of that nature, jobs being replaced. You have the middle class slowly getting, if they're making $70,000 a year, that's like, oh man, I'm struggling. Now you have to work more jobs, and slowly over time, it's going to cut that. It's going to make it where either you are rich or you're poor. That's what it's going to be slowly over time if people don't unite and do things that are going to create abundance within their factions. I see it. It's slowly happening, and it has been the plan over time. Everything that's happening right now is a much bigger scheme that's going to boil down to, we need to look out for ourselves and stop worrying or relying on a system. Why are people so attached to a system to give them hope, to give them promise, to give them life, when it has shown us consistently over time it's the illusion of getting out? It's like promising you something, but when that day comes for promise to be received, it's like, man, we got a lot of things that we need to work on before we get to that promise, but I'm gonna get to it. So it's getting your hopes up for something that's never actually going to come. So when I see people argue and fight over policies that other political candidates, they're pushing for, I'm just like, stop it. Because this is all, since we have been children, since we've been in school and teenagers and voting for Obama, just like we see these types of things consistently happen. And I be wanting to tell people, like, bruh, please don't vote for someone simply because they're black. It's the exact same story that they've painted to us when we were in school. When I was in school, being an 18-year-old, my first time voting is going to be for Obama. And I did it.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I did it simply because he was black.
Yeah, me too.
Simply because he was black. Ignorance. Simple ignorance. And
they got me on that first vote.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Obama, he could speak. I mean, don't get me wrong.
He's mamma jamma.
He is a really good speaker. I saw him spoke at UC. He was up at UC.
Do not get it twisted. I was not unhappy about that vote at that time.
Like, yes, we can.
You know what I mean? Like, he's.
But let's just let you know how deep it is. And wrapping up, they spoke recently. Now the Olympics is happening, and maybe you all didn't see it, because I know I didn't see it, but they recreated the Olympics, and they showed it's like the Jesus picture where they're at the table.
The Last Supper.
Yeah, where they're eating or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And they recreated the Last Supper at the Olympics. It's like in the opening ceremony, but it's being done with people from the LGBT plus community. So like in the intro, you have like this dude. He's an artist out there. He's dressed in blue, and he's like basically
Dressed.
well, not dressed, but more like painted.
He was basically naked.
Yeah, it's basically naked, but he looked like the genie type joint. And all these, and a fat person was in the middle, a fat woman. Maybe she was a woman. I'm not sure what
We
she
don't know
was.
what she
Yeah,
was.
well.
But they had all these people in the community depicting that. And it's just like, bro, this is an attack on Christianity. This is an attack on the like what people are raised on. It's just like, bro, it's so openly disrespectful. You have the flag burning, then you have the opening ceremony where people are just celebrating this community. And I'm just like, bro, I don't know what's happening, but there's a bigger agenda that seems demonic, it just seems as if the foundation of decency is just gone.
And it's all happened in these last 3 years.
Yeah, it's happening right now. So I'm like, man, 2024, woo, it has been a crazy year, but just look out for the signs and signals of what's happening, because a lot of it's literally boiling down to it's us against them.
Bro, I couldn't imagine another 4 years of this. Just everything that is happening. So what they tried to do was I saw this big article. It's long. I read it, and they basically tried to say that none of that was about Christianity, and all of it was about old Greek history and mythology and da da da. And I'm just like, of course you guys would say that. Well, and even if it was, and even if that's all true, that just goes to show you that Christianity just steals from.
Right, but
You
it's
know what I
also,
mean?
but it's also extremely distasteful because of how people are going to take it.
Exactly. Even if it's not what it's about, the optics, like that's like if Paris was not a Christian country, right? I'm sure that as most countries are Christian, and they're not, right? If this was in another country, and the Muslims did this, then maybe that it goes back to the Muslim religion. It's not Christianity, but this is in Paris, and just to be like, yeah, this is Greek. Do you understand the optics of this? And it's just like, no, we're gonna just do what we want to do, and it's gonna get supported because we can just do that. And me personally, I mean, I didn't watch it. I didn't care.
Yeah.
I saw a couple clips. I'm like, I'm not watching this.
Yeah, I just same here. I'm like, nah, I'm
not
good.
watching this.
I'm good.
Like, it made me not even. I said, you know what? I watched the men's basketball highlights.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about Sha'Carri. I don't care about the swimmer. I don't care about Simone. Like, those are the only people I know.
There's a sprinter.
Niall.
Oh, yeah.
Noah. Is it
No,
Niall?
yeah.
Kyle Noah?
woman
Because he
or-
does Yu-Gi-Oh. He has the Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I just was saying, it's not that I don't care about them or they did something wrong.
I mean, I don't,
I'm
but-
saying I just don't care. Like, I don't know. For me, boy, I'm good on the Olympics this year. There's so much going on, and just, bro, just the world.
It's chaos.
I'm good.
They said that there is going to be, because I believe this is maybe the 33rd Olympics. They said that there probably will be like another event that happens out there, like
Because it's 33rd.
yeah.
Oh, because of 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of numbers that you would have to pay attention to.
Okay.
I was like, oh shit, and I'm very intuitive, so that kind of resonated. So I'm just like, oh man, I feel it. I feel it slipping. It might happen, man. So we'll see what happens in Paris, but until then, we're just gonna keep on being great here in Dallas, Texas.
Hey, man, just focus on yourself. Make the best decisions for yourself. Right,
Make her read, keep the family
just
together.
be the best person you can be.
Yeah, be the best person.
All this
you can
other
be.
stuff is it's so much noise. It's hard to stay focused.
Yeah, it's a big old distraction, man. But we don't want to distract y'all from hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. You know what I mean? Application Knowledge, we out here. And hopefully we weren't too political today. You know what I mean? We had we started off. I was kind of burnt out. I ain't even gonna lie.
Ramaswamy Owens 2028.
Hey, bro, that would be,
I'd love that.
I would love a Candace Owens. Candace Owens just interviewed Amber Rose.
Yeah, I saw that. Hey, go get your money, girl.
Hey, Get.
I don't got no problem with Candace interviewing Amber.
Neither do I. I rock with Candace, man.
You like Amber too, apparently.
I didn't necessarily. She's cool. She's
you
cool.
Do like her. You said
I like
that.
her.
You like
Okay, yeah. I don't necessarily like, cause she's okay with gay marriage and all that
You don't
shit.
have to defend it. You don't have to.
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying I don't like everyone 100% about everything that they do.
No
But
one said
I mean,
that.
I think she's a very open person and all that.
Yeah.
Cool. Be who you are.
Be
You know what I mean? Man, shut up.
Do what thou wilt. That's what you said, right?
You over there ad-libbing. All right, wrap us up.
Who is that? That's Aleister Crowley, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate y'all rocking out with us. I am Animated Mel. This is Chris James right here with the cowboy hat. And this is Stephen
Jackaroo.
Michael with the workout headband. And this is me with the no hair. But
I'm glad you roasted yourself the most.
of course, why not? Yeah, me. But we appreciate y'all rocking out with us. And we'll see you all next time. Bye bye.